Here's Senator Rand Paul talking about your favorite doctor. Quote, history should judge him as a deficient person who made one of the worst decisions in public health history, in the entire history of the world. End quote. Right? Senator Rand Paul also went on to say, for his dishonesty, frankly, he should go to prison. Throw that under the jail. Golden State Warriors assistant coach Dejan Milovecic dies suddenly, and NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, in my opinion, has some explaining to do. According to reports, on January 16th, Dejan was at a team dinner in Utah. He experienced a medical emergency, and by the next morning, by the following day, January 17th, this was a Wednesday, bro, who was a former athlete, elite athlete, he definitely was an elite assistant coach, can't be out of shape, crazy, telling people, elite athletes, what to do, how to do it. If you look at footage of him online, bro looks in good shape. And by January 17th, he's dead after suffering this medical emergency, right? Now it's reported that he passed away from having a heart attack, right? Some heart-related emergency. So the first thing I want to do is let's just briefly acknowledge what the norm was prior to like 2019, okay? So unless you're a steroid user or you're some hard narcotics, fentanyl, whatever was being used way before that, those people kicking the bucket on, maybe ODing on some lace cocaine, right? Or you were morbidly obese, typically persons weren't dying of no heart attack in their 40s, right? Elite athletes weren't passing away on some sun-ish to no heart attack. The questionable people or questionable deaths that we used to see is like maybe like a former baseball player that this dude was juiced, right? And then he reaching his 50s, 60s or something. You hear some report like, bro, that we suspected used to be on all that stuff died. Okay, or some wrestler, WWE wrestler, he stay on steroids and all that. They heart messed up after they leave wrestling or a little bit after they pass away. That's the norm that we know of, right? But in the past few years, we constantly have elite athletes. There are many other mainstream persons, but for this video, we're gonna just stick to athletes, right? Similar to Dejan Milovecic. Elite athletes collapsing, elite athletes dying, elite athletes suffering medical emergencies related to their heart or circulation, and that's not cool. That's not, to keep it 100. That's some stuff that's new to since 2019, 2020. That ain't no long time or established joint. This is something that we are encountering right now. Not many people talking about it, right? Not many people are investigating it, right? And ironically, some of the sources that I use to research my topics, depending on what the topic is, could be an academic source, could be an entertainment source or sources. While doing background research for this topic, I'm going through Time magazine, and it just so happens that on January 17th, another notable athlete passed away. This guy was Canadian world champion pole vaulter Shaughnessy Barber, died on January 17th, and this was reported in Time magazine. Apparently, he was sick with some unknown, well, I wouldn't say unknown necessarily, but a nameless illness for an undisclosed period of time, right? Or how he even contracted the illness is still nameless, right? So questionable circumstances for another elite athlete. He passed away. This guy was, in his 29. If I'm not mistaken, he was like 29. He definitely was under 35, right? I can double check. I'll definitely post the link for the Time article in the description, right? So previously, I've covered similar topics on my channel right? Please check out some of these videos that have questioned some of the issues we've had to go through for the past few years, the mandates, certain protocols, right? There are certain people in mainstream social media, so to speak, few and far between, but you have a few that have, really held out, not folded. They kind of held out. Look at your Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was spitting that ivermectin and that hydrochloroquine around that time that Trump was pushing it. I'm pretty sure he a Trump supporter, so to speak. Definitely he's, conservative. Props to him, right? But Joe Rogan was somebody who held out on this, right? Another person, Russell Brand. Russell Brand been going so hard, Russell Brand damn near canceled, right? Or they tried to cancel him, probably gonna try again, right? And he has been pushing out good content on questioning some of the things that were mandated and some of the things that, we the people, us in the public, had to go through or suffer through depending on how much of a will you had, right? There's this other guy, I plug his channel too, out of England. His name is Dr. John, and he has been ruffling feathers a little bit. He has been putting out information on stuff going on in England, Canada, US, etc., across the world, right? So if you mess with this content, if you'd like to support the channel, please subscribe to the channel, share this video with persons that you know, because at the end of the day, sitting passively is not it, right? Awareness is needed. Persons need to be more and more informed, because most of your mainstream media outlets, they're sugarcoating it, right? To some extent, I gotta water it down too. Your boy can't stand to get no libel. Like, I don't have pockets for no libel, nothing, right? But sitting passively is not it. So I searched the internet up and down. I'm trying to find, comments from Adam Silver on what happened to Dejan. Like, are you going to say something on it? What are you going to say? Right? And this is what Adam Silver had to say about his recent death. The NBA mourns the sudden passing of Golden State assistant coach Dejan Milovecic, a beloved colleague and dear friend to so many in the global basketball community. End quote. All right, and there was like a few puff pieces from ESPN, and frankly, I'm a bit upset. This is not enough. I didn't know him, but bro represented global basketball. He pushed for the movement, right? Basketball is like a wonderful sport. It has many health benefits. Bro died on some early-ish, and his death should not just be swept under the rug, right? And if you look into it, you had people who were going extra hard 2 to 3 years ago. Kyrie Irving, public enemy number one. And this was, let me put it like this. Yeah, I'm going to be one of the first persons to do this. I'm going to make some assumptions and I'm going to jump to some big conclusions, right? But Kyrie Irving had hesitancy for reasons just like this. We may not have known the end from the beginning, but we know it was sus as hell. That's the main thing. We knew the mandates was sus. We knew the whole energy behind it was sus. And now you have someone like Dejan who lost his life under questionable circumstances. I feel like, Commissioner Silver needs to do something. Now, lastly, Adam Silver, he's a former lawyer. That's my understanding of his background. His background is in law. And the only politician in the US, the only senator in the US that has gone the extra mile, stood 10 toes on this doctor's neck, I'm not going to call his name, has been Senator Rand Paul, right? Now, I'm going to post this article also in the description. And here is Senator Rand Paul talking about your favorite doctor. Quote, history should judge him as a deficient person who made one of the worst decisions in public health history, in the entire history of the world. End quote, right? Senator Rand Paul also went on to say, for his dishonesty, frankly, he should go to prison. Throw that under the jail. Persons in a position of power, like NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, he needs, if he's not complicit, and that's the operative term right there. If you're not complicit, Commissioner, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, you need to push for answers and accountability. You have to do that for your players. You need to do it for your coaching staff. And it can't just go like Dejan can't just be swept under the rug. Oh, he's Serbian. You know, don't forget what happened to young Bronny James. Like, these things are not. Don't forget. So with that said, definitely, if you are interested in this content, if you support the content, please support the channel, share these videos. Also check out other content that was made prior to this that, you know, touches on this topic, or some of the things that can be done, some of the interventions that you should look into, and just to be how to be more aware.